Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Board of County Commissioners meeting for Tuesday, September 22nd, 2020. I am John Hutchings, the chair of the board. Also present is Vice Chair Ty Menser and Commissioner Gary Edwards, County Manager Romero Chavez, Assistant County Manager Robin Campbell, and we have Thurston County Treasurer Jeff Gadman, and from the Auditor's Office, Diana Benson. And I don't know who else is on the screen or call. I don't see them. Romero, anybody?
Yeah, we have Teresa Parsons from Public Works, Jenica Machado, and Brett Burrs.
Okay. And so with that, I'm calling the meeting to order and the Pledge of Allegiance to be led by Commissioner Gary Edwards.
To the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, sir. And with that, is there an approval for today's agenda?
Move to approve agenda for Tuesday, September 22nd, 2020.
It's been moved to and seconded to approve today's agenda. Are there any changes or amendments to the agenda? Nope. All in favor, say aye.
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 Aye. That motion carries. Thank you. And how about the board meeting minutes?
Move to approve board meeting minutes from September 15th, 2020.
Second.
Oh, there we go.
Oh,
It's been moved and seconded to approve the board meeting minutes from September 15th, 2020. Any corrections to that or changes? Nope. All in favor, say aye.
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 That motion carries. Thank you. We're starting off with a presentation regarding the Auditor's Office proclamation for National Voter Registration Day.
I believe Diana Benson is going to provide some background on this.
Okay, thank you.
Good afternoon, Commissioner.
Good afternoon, Diana.
How are you? My name is Diana Benson. How are you? I'm from the Thurston County Auditor's Office, and the stars have aligned for us because it just so happens that National Voter Registration Day falls on the same day as your board meeting. So that worked out perfect.
Thank you, Romero.
We really appreciate that you have recognized National Registration Day with the proclamation. We are very busy in elections, and there are a lot of new registered voters just recently in the last few days even. And we're expecting to be up above 200,000 voters for the general election. So thank you very, very much for your support.
You're very welcome.
And Mary Hall, the county auditor, would love to be here, but unfortunately she's busy dealing with statewide issues.
Wow. Okay, never stops. So is there a reading of the proclamation?
Yes, Mr. Chair.
Yes.
National Voter Registration Day. Whereas registering to vote empowers eligible citizens to exercise their right to vote on Election Day. And whereas Thurston County is committed to strengthening democracy by encouraging voter registration and encouraging participation in all elections. And whereas civic-minded people and organizations have collaborated to establish September 22nd, 2020 as National Voter Registration Day. And whereas the goal for the 2020 National Voter Registration Day is to create awareness of elections and motivate eligible citizens to vote. And whereas the strength of our democracy depends on the willingness of our citizens to participate by choosing the people who will lead us and by voicing their opinions on important matters that will come before the voters on Election Day. Now, therefore, be it resolved, the Thurston County Board of County Commissioners hereby recognizes September 22nd, 2020 as National Voter Registration Day in Thurston County and encourages all eligible county residents to register to vote. Adopted this 22nd day of September, 2020 by your Board of County Commissioners.
Hooray. Commissioner Edwards, do you have anything to say?
Just make sure everybody gets out there and votes. That's all I can say. Thank you. And thanks to the auditor's office for tackling such a very complicated election season.
Commissioner Menser.
I was a government student in college, and I thought it might be interesting for people. I did some research actually on this particular topic of voting. I was studying the New Zealand system where citizens are required to vote, and we were looking at whether that's a good thing or a bad thing. One of the arguments was that people have the sense that somehow the people who vote think very differently than people who don't vote. And so one side or another is worried that it's going to help their side or hurt their side. And again, this is old. This is research from the 70s and 80s, but the research was very clear that the opinions of non-voters and voters don't really differ at all. And it's not going to help one side or another side in terms of success or failure in an election. What it just does is creates people having more of a sense of stake in their government, like they're participating, like they have an investment. And so it's just a helpful thing, I think, to the overall community and citizenship. Nobody need to be worried about, it's not going to hurt my side, it's going to help my side. We should be encouraging everyone to register. We should be encouraging everyone to vote. It's a good thing for democracy. So I'm happy to make this proclamation today.
Thank you. And I turned 18 the year that it became legal to vote at 18, and I haven't missed one since. And as the proclamation says, and as Mary consistently says, as you said, it's the voice of democracy. And I've always taken that right seriously, and so has my wife and our two children. So it's vitally important. And I've even protested in the 60s. I never rioted though, but I protested because you have the right to redress your government. So I'm very happy to proclaim this National Voter Registration Day. Go ahead, Diana.
So I would just like to add, now that you've read the proclamation and you've talked about how important this is, that the Auditor Hall is very passionate about making sure that everyone can cast their ballot. And we really appreciate the partnership with the Commissioner's Office. A couple of key items that we want to make sure everyone knows: vote early. We are mailing our ballots early. They will be mailed October 8th this year. We have 29 drop boxes that you can drop your ballot in the drop boxes. And we appreciate the Commissioner's support that we have the drive-through voter services at the South Puget Sound Community College Mottman campus. So we will be working on that. October 14th is when anyone can come through and get drive-through voter services. So thank you very much for all of your support. Auditor Hall would love to be here. As Romero said, the calendar is pretty crazy.
Thank you very much for joining us, Diana. I appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you.
Now we're moving on to agenda item number 1, which is the opportunity for the public to address the board. And just by way of reiterating some of the guidelines, please introduce yourself and where you live in the county. Address the board, not the audience. Please silence your cell phone if you haven't done so. We do not respond to comment. The candidate manager will follow up as needed. You're limited to a 3-minute total to address the board, and you cannot donate your time to another person. The board reserves the right to restrict a person's opportunity to address the meeting for a good cause. Please don't be lewd, offensive, inflammatory, hateful, defamatory, or discriminatory in nature. Please be respectful. No comments that are commercial in nature for profit business. Remarks about pending land use issues or similar matters that could eventually come before this board are not appropriate either. And all materials provided to the county may be considered public record, subject to public release upon request pursuant to the Public Records Act, Chapter 42.56 of the RCW. And Romero, please address electioneering or lack of. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Commissioners. Since we are in the midst of campaign season, any members of the public who are planning to provide testimony today to refrain from making any statements that can be construed as electioneering. Thank you.
Thank you. I will read the names of the folks, anybody that has signed up, then we'll check to see if there's anybody on the phone or on Zoom. The first one is signed up is John Pettit. And then go ahead and take the podium if you're there. You know.
Good afternoon, Commissioners. My name is John Pettit. I live in East Olympia. I actually have a lot of appreciation for the voter registration day. I think it's interesting we could have close to 200,000 voters registered, but it's also interesting that sometimes voting, while that's a step in addressing government, they also have the opportunity to come right here and express themselves, their concerns and everything, right here to the people that get elected. Now, I would say it's unfortunate that very few people can make it here, especially at a 2 o'clock in the afternoon time. I'll encourage you again, as I have before, we should try to move this meeting into an evening meeting. Every single municipality in the area all has their meetings in the evening so the public can get to it and they can all have the opportunity to be there rather than have to take time off of work or away from school or other activities which cause them to be forbidden from being able to participate. So it would be a word that for the commissioners, perhaps if you want more participation, you want to hear from the people, not just get a vote here or there, that you actually move the meeting to a time frame. And as you may recall, you did have a couple meetings outside of this building this last year. And participation was, I want to say, a minimum of 10 times what it typically is here when we're having it here at this time. The other comment I would have is that 3 minutes isn't really enough time. By the time a person gets wound up to start talking a slight amount, they've just got into it, they have a major concern. There's nothing wrong with expanding that time out to 5 minutes, especially when you're typically only having 1 or 2 people make a comment. The citizens pay their taxes for 24-hour services, but candidly, we get 3 minutes to be able to express ourselves in a week of time. Sure, we can write, but writing isn't always very effective, and I think that people need to feel like they can come up and express. So, and although my 3 minutes was never set a timer, we're not going to worry about
40
that.
seconds.
Okay.
We're keeping track.
My last thing I'm going to mention to you is, of course, one of my main issues that I have right now is the county still needs to take action to reverse Amendment 4, budget reductions against all the elected offices. This week, or within a week from now, you should have the new figures for sales tax for the county. I suspect it'll show that, once again, it's far higher than expected, and that the county should take immediate action so the citizens get the services that they've agreed to pay for through their property tax levies. Thank you.
Thank you.
That exhausts the list of folks that have signed up. Romero, if you'll check on the phone, please. Is there anybody on the Zoom?
Nobody on the Zoom, Commissioner.
Okay, thank you.
For those who have joined us via conference call, if you would like to provide public testimony, please unmute yourselves, introduce yourselves, your name, where you live in the county, and you have 3 minutes.
I can go first.
Okay, we have to, the lady, please.
Hi, this is Mindy Rooley. I'm the president and CEO of the Community Foundation of South Puget Sound. I live in Olympia, Washington. Good afternoon, commissioners. I just wanted to hop on the phone to say thank you for getting CARES funding out to businesses and nonprofits this month through Thurston Strong and through the Community Foundation's partnership with United Way. Nonprofits are a critical part of our community and our county, and I wanted to express my appreciation for you for being aware of how important it is to get funding out to people right now while they're experiencing the health and economic impacts of this pandemic. So, thank you.
Thank you, Mindy, very kindly for that. We all thank you.
Thank you, Mindy. Who's next?
Hello, this is Mike Reed. Can you hear me?
Yeah, go ahead, Mike.
Okay, my name is Mike Reed. I'm the Economic Development Director for the City of Olympia. I'm also a resident of Thurston County. I live in Olympia. I too want to echo what Mindy Ruley said before me. We've brought together a team of representatives across the cities and county to work on what we have sort of branded early on as our Thurston Strong effort. And this is an effort to address the impacts that have been caused by COVID. And primarily we've been focused on the economic response and now the recovery as we move forward through this. And I just really wanted to say thank you to the county commissioners and the staff that are working on this. The latest round of funding of CARES Act dollars that could go into this work, I think will be incredibly helpful. I don't want to discount the public health impact that this crisis has had, but the impact on our economy and the businesses has been just as equally devastating. And in some ways, you know, we're seeing the start of this in a lot of ways. And so the support through these different grant programs that your dollars will be going towards, I think are very helpful. And having your staff participating in this effort has been very meaningful. And I think that having the Thurston Strong effort will make a lasting and impactful difference on the recovery of our community. And one last thing, I just wanted to say, Jenica Machado is your designated staff person that has been working on this. She's your economic development manager. She's done a phenomenal job, I think, representing the interests of the county and being a true partner in this. So just a tip of the cap, and thanks so much.
I like that, Mike. Thank you, Mike. Thank you very much on behalf of the board. And thank you and Mindy. And again, tip of the hat to Jenica. It's amazing.
Thank you. Is there anybody else who would like to provide public testimony this afternoon via conference call? Hearing none, thank you for your participation.
Mindy Ruley has left the conference.
Thank you, Romero. And that is one of the most rewarding parts of this job, is supplying money out to those organizations and the folks that need it the most. We're at agenda item number 2, the county manager's update.
Yeah, thank you, Commissioners. I'd like to follow up to the public testimony you received last week related to the Black Lake Special Use District. And it's also, we receive in the Commissioner's office, and at least in my inbox, several emails related to this particular matter, as you will be considering allowing the Black Lake Special District to increase their rates to provide water quality treatment on Black Lake. Among the many different issues that were highlighted, they were related whether questioning the general powers of the district itself. RCW 86.09.151 outlines the powers of the district. And also they were, and I'm not gonna read the RCWs, by the way, I'm just highlighting this. And also there were some questions whether the activities associated with the district are within the bounds of the law. RCW 36.61020 also outlines the creations of the district, special assessment, as well as the activities the special district will be conducting. Questions also related whether the county was go ahead and create a lake management district to manage the lakes in the county. And the county, as a legislative authority, doesn't have the authority to create a district without the formal request, consent, and approval by the property owners affected within the boundaries of the district. The county has 2 different districts at this point. One is the Special Use District, Black Lake, which is self-governed by individuals elected by the members within the district. And the county does not have any operational oversight on the Black Lake District. The other way in which a district can be created to manage lake is through the Lake Management District. And it's the same as it has to be a request by the public, needs to be voted by the public affected within the district. And the difference is the county plays the role of managing the activities of this district from the financial point of view. Also, a question was raised whether the county will will take any financial responsibility of the Black Lake Special Use District when they go ahead and issue their bond. No, the county will not take any financial responsibility when the Black Lake Special Use District will issue the bond if the Board of County Commissioners approve their rates, proposed rates to implement their program. So that is in so many, I don't want to elaborate too much, but I think we have responded in so many different areas. I personally responded to an email that I received, and also I believe Commissioner Menser has taken a lot of time and effort to research some of the questions that he has received as well from some of his constituents. And as he stated this morning, he is open to receive any request as to how he can share the correspondences that he has shared with individuals associated with raising these questions about the Black Lake Special Use District. For the public's perspective, for your consideration, next week is an action item for you to consider approving the request of the Black Lake Special Use District to increase the rates. So if the public is interested, they can watch the deliberations next week and perhaps your decision-making process as well. That's all I have.
All right, thank you. Any comments from my commissioners, or seatmates? No, okay. Next on the agenda is the consent items, agenda item number 3, and it's A through G. And is there a motion?
Yes, Mr. Chair, I move to approve consent items 3A through 3G.
I'm sorry, did I miss a second?
I did. I seconded. No.
Oh, there we go. Thank
Am
you.
I off?
I hear you now. It's been moved and seconded to approve consent items A through G. Any discussion on any of those items? No. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Commissioner Edwards, I'm sorry, I didn't hear you, man. I'm not hearing anything at all.
Okay, let me see.
Thank you. No one's going to silence his voice.
How about now?
Oh, yeah.
Aye.
Consent items A through G. Please stand by.
Little technical difficulty here. Mr. Chair, how are we doing now?
Oh, there we go.
Okay. Aye.
Aye. Consent items A through G passes unanimously. Thank you, sir. You still have a voice, Romero? Do you have to share a microphone?
Well, I'm here. Sorry.
Ah, good. Okay, thank you.
So what I'm planning to do, I'm going to take the microphone for the public testimony. I'm going to give this to Commissioner Edwards.
All right, thank you.
I have another. Test.
I hear people running behind me in the halls. Apparently, everybody's trying to adjust.
So this is a good indication that this is live stream and not rehearsed.
That's not cut and paste. All right, we're to agenda item number 4, and that's 4A rather, is authorize the county manager to sign a coronavirus relief fund contract.
And we have Jenica Machado online.
Hi, good afternoon, Commissioners. Jenica Machado, Economic Development Manager. As you're aware, the Department of Commerce increased Thurston County's Coronavirus Relief Fund award by $5,718,000 and extended the contract deadline to November 30th, 2020. The Board of County Commissioners decided to allocate these additional funds to support the external community through United Way of Thurston County, the Thurston Strong Economic Task Force, and Community Action Council. Contracts were executed during a prior round of funding, and an amendment will be needed to increase the award amount and extend the contract deadline. So we're looking for approval for the contract amendments and authorizing the county manager to sign the amendments.
Thank you. Any questions or comments of Jenica regarding this?
No, but that's only because we've already went over this several times. So.
Right.
Jenica, were you online to hear the shout out you got from the city of Olympia?
I did. That was very kind of Mike Reed.
Thank you, Commissioner. I was going to make sure she got that. Thank you. Well deserved. So is there a motion?
Yes, I would move to approve the contract amendments for the Coronavirus Relief Fund between Thurston County and the Department of Commerce, as well as the sub-recipient contracts with the United Way of Thurston County and Thurston Economic Development Council, and authorize the county manager to sign the amendments.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded to authorize the county manager to sign the Coronavirus Relief Fund sub-recipient contract amendments. Any further discussion? Nope. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. That motion carries. Jenica, you're very well appreciated. Very much. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Agenda item number 5, community planning and economic development, setting a public hearing. And we got Brett Burris, our building and planning manager, on the phone or on the line here, on the video.
Go ahead, Brett.
Go ahead, Brett.
Thank you very much. Record Brett Burris, Building and Planning Manager with Community Planning and Economic Development. So before you today is a recommendation to move forward to a public hearing and amendment to an existing development agreement that was signed by the Board of County Commissioners on July 30, 2019. And the purpose of the development agreement was to extend the expiration date of approval of the preliminary plat to January 1, 2021. This specific request is to extend it all the way to August 1st, 2021. And it's in relation due to the COVID effect, or the effects of COVID-19 and the restrictions of delayed construction. This has been a partnership with the development community to move projects forward and continue a working relationship. And so just to repeat myself, today it's the ask is to see if the board would like to hold a public hearing on October 13th, 2021 to hear about an amendment to the previously approved development agreement.
Got it. Okay, any questions of Brett?
No.
All right, so motion?
I would move to set a public hearing for October 13th, 2020 at 3 p.m. or soon thereafter at the Thurston County Courthouse, Building 1 in Room 280 to accept public comment on proposed amendment to the existing development agreement for Sienna 2.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded to set the public hearing for the Sienna 2 development for October 13th, 2020 at 3 p.m. Any further discussion? Nope. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. That motion carries. Thank you. Thank you, Brett, very much.
Thank you very much.
Agenda item number 6 is Public Health and Social Services, approval of the Medicaid Transformation 4-year funding from Cascade Pacific Action Alliance. And we have Chris Hawkins, Program Manager. Hi, Chris. Thank you.
Good afternoon, Commissioners. Chris Hawkins here, Education and Prevention Manager with Thurston County Public Health and Social Services, bringing to you a contract amendment. This would allow us to continue our work under the Medicaid Transformation Program in the Cascade Pacific Action Alliance region. The services that we accomplish with these funds are under 3 different project areas. One is around opioid prevention. That involves some trainings in the community on naloxone distribution for basically dealing with overdoses, as well as trainings on safe medication storage and disposal. And then in the area of chronic disease prevention, we do a chronic disease self-management class or workshop, and we've been offering that online in recent weeks as we adapt to the COVID-19 situation, and we intend to continue to offer that workshop opportunity for people living with chronic health conditions in our community. So that's a great benefit to our local residents. And then finally, we also have a project in the maternal child health area, and that is the Nurse Family Partnership Program gets some funding from this Medicaid Transformation funding. So we are asking for your approval on an amendment that would add this year's funding up to $137,000 to support those projects and continue this work towards the benefiting the community and achieving the triple aim of improved healthcare and improved health outcomes at a lower cost for our community.
Very good. Any questions of Chris? Nope. Okay. Is there a motion?
Yes, I would move to approve the Cascade Pacific Action Alliance contract amendment number K2293-202040. Duration from date of execution through January 31st, 2022, for a total of up to $137,775 for the Medicaid Transformation Project to deliver services to Thurston County residents who are on Medicaid, and authorize the Director of Public Health and Social Services Department to sign the contract, as well as future amendments that do not change the approved dollar amount by more than 10%.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded to approve of a Medicaid Transformation 4-year funding from Cascade Pacific Action Alliance. Any further discussion? Nope. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Chris, thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Commissioners.
Agenda item number 7 is Public Works, an ordinance establishing complete streets policy. And we have our senior civil engineer, Teresa Parsons, with us.
Good afternoon, Commissioners. This is Teresa Parsons with Thurston County Public Works. Today, I'd like to bring forward a request to consider adoption of a complete streets ordinance, which will formally adopt a practice that the county has incorporated into our transportation project development that considers all transportation users, including pedestrians, bicyclists, transit, freight, and other modes of transportation. The county has brought this forward in the past and reviewed it, and it is by adopting this ordinance, it will be countywide. We initially discussed it as part of the Rochester Main Street improvements, but it will apply countywide if adopted. The benefits of this is that it allows for us to compete for Transportation Improvement Board complete street grants. And it was a recommendation in the recent comprehensive plan updates. Are there any questions?
Any questions of Teresa?
No, sir. We've covered that one as well.
Okay.
No, okay.
Teresa,
Wait.
real quick.
Wait.
I understand the ordinance would apply across the county, and those grants that we could potentially compete for, we could potentially apply to different areas. I know it's been talked about, as you said, with respect to the Rochester Main Street projects, but are there other areas that we could potentially look for funding to support upgrades?
Yeah, the Transportation Improvement Board has specific criteria as to which areas their grants will be considered for. It has to be in an adopted urban growth area and some other considerations. But other than that, yeah, countywide, as long as it meets that criteria.
Okay, well, that's why Rochester is probably a prime candidate for that.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
All right, is there a motion, sir?
Yes, I would move to adopt an ordinance to establish a not clean streets, complete streets policy.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded to adopt an ordinance to establish a complete streets policy. Okay, further discussion? No, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, that motion carries. Thank you.
Thank you.
Howard, thank you, Teresa, very much. We're now to 8A of the agenda, and that's where the commissioners report on work sessions and assignments over the last week. And Commissioner Menser, I'll start with you. If you're
Okay.
ready.
The thing that I'd like to report on, I attended a few things. One was one of our public forums for the solid waste management plan. I took a tour of the courtroom construction that we're doing, the new courtrooms that will be related to coronavirus funding, CARES funding. But I mainly wanted to report on the Agricultural Advisory Committee meeting. Commissioner Edwards was there as well. A really good group of folks. I think our CPED staff, Jennifer Davis, was kind of one of the main presenters, but there were a couple of others. And it was one of the best community advisory committee meetings I've ever attended. Just in terms of the content, the discussion afterwards, the number of people from all different sides of the issue. And I was just very impressed and very happy that I was able to attend. Kind of the motivation for the agenda was the commissioner's docket item that we placed on the work plan, which was a request from the Planning Commission and some community members that wanted us to look at do a more comprehensive view of our agricultural policies and land use policies. And the commissioners took that community request and put it onto our staff's work docket. And so this was kind of a kickoff for community outreach and stakeholder input for that effort. So it was great to get an overview from Jennifer. She did a great job. The Agriculture Advisory Committee did a great job putting it together and giving their feedback. So it was just an excellent event, and kudos to the Agricultural Advisory Committee.
Wow, good. Commissioner Edwards?
Well, Commissioner Menser stole my story, so he's right. That was a good meeting with the Ag Committee. I think we'll be headed in the right direction about preserving farmlands. Also, I went over and looked at the new court area, and I'll maybe ask Commissioner Menser this because I didn't have anybody to talk to when I was over there. Is the building still painted black?
That's where TRPC is going. Our court building is not
that's
black.
the next one. Okay.
Yeah.
I was kind of wondering what the purpose of the black was.
It's funny you asked that because they were just pointing that out, and I had the same reaction. I was like, why is it painted black? And is that the final color? And apparently it is. They're going to put some colorful accents on it, but it's very peculiar looking, to be honest with you. But that's where TRPC is about to move into.
Yeah, okay. Same area. Okay, good enough. Zoom meetings, but the only one of consequence was the Ag meeting. So I'll let it go at that, Commissioner.
Was the TRPC where they're going, is that on Chandler as well?
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. The next door.
Directly
next door.
Next one over.
No, wow, okay. If my commissioners will remember, when after subsequent to our election, we went to an onboarding or a training through WASAC. They put on training about what is OPMA and PRA and budgets and acronyms, all kinds of stuff. And it was fast and furious, and our heads were just like sponges. So one of the things that I participated in last week, I'm on the Professional Development Committee with WASAC, coming up with topics of interest that need for any electeds that need to know this stuff coming in, and assigning weight or credits to those topics and how much time will be spent on each. And this is for a certification, an elected certification, that you've met the criteria, the minimum requirements to be certified as a public. I mean, you're obviously an elected official, but to be certified through WASAC, having this training, and then ongoing CEUs or continuing education units. How often and how many and what's it take and such. And that's interesting stuff, reminiscing 3 years ago, having gone through that. I also attended the WASAC Association of Counties regular board of directors meeting, and participated in the governor's task force on independent investigation of police use of force. And that's winding down as of November 5th should be the last meeting, coming up with recommendations to the governor for proposed legislation for independent investigation of police use of force in Washington State. And participated in last week the Regional Housing Council, completing almost done with our ILA throughout the entire county, working on the homeless issue. Last Friday, I attended the Thurston County and city mayors meeting. And then yesterday, I toured the court facilities, the new court room facilities over on Chandler Court, Bristol Court, Chandler Court, with Chris Helmer, our project manager, and from Kidder Matthews, Evan Parker. And seeing what it used to be and seeing what it is now, huge transformation and what is yet to come. It's going to be very functional for the courtroom, for our courts, and for the attorneys, both public defense and prosecutors as well, and juries and such. So it was a good busy week. And with that, I turn to the county manager.
Thank you. Excuse me. Thank you, commissioners. Let me walk you through your upcoming combined schedule for the next week. The appointments that is going to be part of my report is where at least 2 commissioners will be present. You may have individual appointments on your individual calendars. Those will not be part of my report. Nothing after this meeting is completely have on Tuesday, September 22nd. Tomorrow, Wednesday, September 23rd, at 9 in the morning, you have a briefing related to the Development Code Docket 821. That is the Rural Accessory Dwelling Units, the ADUs. Well-awaited item for you to get a briefing on that. At 2 in the afternoon, you have an executive session, and that is related to the solid waste flow control. And at 4 o'clock tomorrow, September 23rd, you have a follow-up briefing on the watershed plans that will be the water resources inventory areas. Nothing on Thursday, September 24th. And on Friday, September 25th, we're going to take the time to celebrate the birthdays here in the commissioner's office. And we're going to have a little bit of what I call is a COVID-19 potluck. So it's going to be practicing social distancing, practicing all the public health requirements, wearing masks. But hopefully we'll have the opportunity to celebrate the birthdays in the commissioner's office. And moving on to Monday, September the 28th at noon, you have your Washington State Association of Counties virtual assembly, where you will be having a conversations with your fellow elected officials across the state. In the afternoon, at 1 in the afternoon, I believe Commissioner Hutchins and Commissioner Menser, they have the Thurston Mason Behavioral Health Organization, BHO board meeting. And then you will convene again on Tuesday, September 29, at 9 in the morning. We'll be having your regular agenda setting. That's all I have for you.
Okay. I turn to my seatmates. Is there anything for the good of the order?
You got it covered.
Nope. All right. Then thank you all for joining us, and this meeting is adjourned.